Okay, I'm going to get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina, and I am the integration specialist here at RedTeam. Today, we're going to be covering the integration of RedTeam Go to QuickBooks Online. And to kind of set the stage for what we're going to be covering, we will discuss what the integration does and what the integration looks like on an everyday setting. I do want to touch on the biggest benefit of the integration is the elimination of the duplicate data entry. The integration of RedTeam Go to QuickBooks Online will push transactions as they are approved and accepted, creating the trigger points to push the transactions to QuickBooks Online, providing that efficiency, eliminating the double entry, but more importantly, minimizing the risk for errors. Now, before we go and get started on the initial connection, I wanted to bring up this document, and it's a little older document that we're still in the process of rebranding. But when we go into QuickBooks, or actually into RedTeam Go to connect to QuickBooks, you will see that we do not have this as our database is already connected to QuickBooks Online. So I wanted to show you what it would look like. And this is the first screen that you will see. And inside, you will have the toolbar at the top that has the accounting tab. And when you come down, you will see the QuickBooks Online integration that will have the connect to QuickBooks in green. Now, once we click on that, it will take you and reroute you to the QuickBooks that you'll log into and then pick which company you have, if you have multiple companies that you want to connect to. Once you click on the connect, at that point, you are connecting your RedTeam Go to QuickBooks Online. We're going to go over to QuickBooks Online now. And as you can see, if I were just to go into the main dashboard, this is kind of what you would see before you connected to QuickBooks Online. When you would connect, you would go to that accounting. And as you can see, we have multiple integrations, but you would only have this QuickBooks Online integration. And that's where you would find that green button that you would connect to, reroute to the QuickBooks Online, connect. You would come back then and you go into settings. Now, of course, we do recommend that we're part of that integration call. We assist you through all of this, but those are the steps to get you started. Now, once we go in, you will see that we have the default item codes. And our programmers typically set this all up, and these do not change. And on the notification recipients, you're not going to have as many as us. So you'll have like 5 to 10 maybe. And what you will do is choose who you want or need to see a notification email and have them receive this when a change order is created and approved, or if an owner billing has been created. Especially your accountants typically want to see that one. So you will put a check mark on those individuals that you would want to see and receive the notification that this has happened. Be sure and click save so that those check marks are there and they get those emails. We then move down to the concierge options. And inside concierge options, we have this item here that's integration by job. As you can see, there's not a check mark here, but if this was check mark, you would be able to choose which projects move over to QuickBooks Online. And when you create a project, then you would have a box that would say, integrate to QuickBooks or not integrate to QuickBooks, if it's not checked. Now, if you don't have this, every project will move over to QuickBooks Online. The next step is the estimate upload. And as you can see, we have this defaulted here to construction budget. This is checkbox is when you have the GC budget that is going to move into QuickBooks Online. You also have the option of utilizing the owner estimate, which is typically what you provide to the owner during bidding process. You do have three options how to upload that. You can upload and have it integrate over to QuickBooks Online by cost code with separate profit line, or by cost code with itemized markups. So these are two that we provide options of how to move your estimates in as a budget, or your other option as an owner estimate. The next is in negative expenses as vendor credit. And we have these defaulted because we would like, and typically our clients would like, the credits that are provided by a vendor, or say something that's returned to Home Depot, to come into accounts payable and basically as a deduct and relieve that accounts payable. So that would push over to QuickBooks as a negative. In the field PO is the same way. It is defaulted when it's activated here with a check mark, and that makes the expense that a PM may upload out in the project trailer or from the field mobile app as a bill and not as a purchase order. So those would move into the QuickBooks as a bill. Coming to the right side, we have this vendor contact name, and we do default this one as well. This is where your vendors will move into QuickBooks Online as the vendor name and not the contact name. So it would go in as RedTeam Go instead of, say, Christina at RedTeam Go. So we do default that. The other options here now is based upon your business and your workflow, but the owner bill, you can select whether you want to bring it in as an application date or when it is approved and notarized. One way to describe this is that if you are creating an owner application as of January 31st, you want that revenue to go into January and so forth. At that point, you want to probably use this application date. If it doesn't matter and your workflow does not matter to that it flows possibly into February, then you can do it by approved and notarized, because then whenever that is notarized or approved, it will move into that date of when that is. So it could be February. The next one is the same way, sub-bill date. You can choose by when the subcontractor is putting in that expense, or it can move in when it is approved or accepted. So that possibly all that work wasn't done that they billed you for, or there's other reasons that you may not want it to move into QuickBooks Online as of the bill date. One of the last ones in the concierge area is the sub-bill memo. On your checks, you have a memo, and that is where typically you don't have to put anything, but we provide that you can put an invoice number, an approval date, an application date, a project date, or all of them. Because as we know, sometimes when we're paying a vendor, that they don't know how to apply it to what job, what invoice, and that check stub may get removed from that check. So this provides you an opportunity to provide them with the information right on the check. Please ensure to click save all your selections. We're now down to the cost code types and matching them with your QuickBooks Accounting General Ledger. And so on this left side, you can see that it has the QuickBooks income account. And typically it's the same account all the way down. And you may have it labeled something else. I mean, we have 3 different income accounts. So you can have sales construction. It could be just plain income. It could be contracted income. If I were to type just income here, it will bring up the 3 income accounts that we have. We have sales of product income, construction revenue. It's an income account. And then we have the sales just plain sales. So you would typically pick the same income account all the way down here and then click save. This is for your owner billing. It's all going to go into your revenue income account. And of course, the other side is accounts receivable. On the right side, you're going to connect to your cost of goods sold expense accounts. And so all of your general ledger accounts are here. And you can choose which cost of goods sold account you want to put it to. If you don't have an architect fee, such as us, you can put it to other job costs. We've seen, probably the job costs, other and just other, but it is a cost of goods sold in your project expense area. Now you can see that we do have an equipment cost, and a lot of our companies do track where they have their tool and equipment rental tracked, or their material and supply costs tracked. So once you go down and you choose the arrow and match it up to what it needs to be, then at that point, just choose the save so that all of your selections are saved and everything is now technically connected to your revenue and your cost of goods. Moving on down, we go to the Go payment method and your general ledger payment codes. And in your implementation, they will teach everyone how to create your payment method types. And it's done through expense, but once those are created, so you would have a credit card. And when we click on this, you will see what we have in place for our database. We have cash, check, credit card, accounts payable. So as you create those, then you would connect them to your general ledger account. So your American Express, we're going to connect to the American Express in QuickBooks Online. If you have project managers that have, say, 4 of them, 4 project managers have 4 Home Depot cards, you could have a Jim with 1, 2, 3, 4, a Bob with 5, 6, 7, 8. They could have the Home Depot, all the payment methods, but you'd only need one general ledger account that said Home Depot, because all of those would roll into that. You can connect them all to that one. So again, make sure you click save, and then we go to the retainage. Some clients do not use retainage, but those that do know that we have a receivable retainage and a payable retainage. And once those accounts are inside QuickBooks, you will be able to choose those. And then you would choose your balance sheet account of retainage receivable, retainage payable, click save. When you create an owner invoice or a subcontractor creates a bill, at that point, that retainage goes into the liability account or the other asset account as a receivable. So now we have connected your RedTeam Go to QuickBooks Online and to the general ledger, and you are all set. One of the things I wanted to show you here at the top, you can go to show logs, and this is where your most recent transactions will flow in once you have transactions moving in. If you have an error here, such as this one, which is one of the ones we see the most for a vendor maybe not being found in RedTeam Go or QuickBooks, at that point, the vendor, what we have found, may be inactivated or deleted inside QuickBooks. So you would just need to create it and then re-queue it so that it moves on over. We do have a reconciliation report as well that you can choose by date. So you can have 1 month, you can have a quarter, you can have a year. You click generate, and then at that point, it takes a moment, you download, and then you can download it to your desktop or OneDrive. Now, I'd like to go on over and I'd like to show the daily workflow. So if we're going to process an owner billing, I am going to go to my projects, and I know that inside my 1200 Atlas, I do have a progress billing. And so we're going to go down to billing, owner A, and we're going to find that here's my first invoice right here. It's a progress billing. The GC signed it. It's been notarized. So that pushed it on over to QuickBooks Online. Now, if we were to open this up, take a minute to load. You can see that the general conditions and the work site and all of that is here, as well as that you can see that retainage was taken out. So the total work in progress was 547 with 27,000. And if you wanted to print this, you can print it without the lien release or with the lien release. And this is what it would look like. It's an AIA. You would see that the total amount of the work in progress that was going to be billed is 547. We have retainage being held, and so that the total is 519,906 that's going to be sent out to that owner as a receivable for us. If you move on down, you're going to see that AIA. You're going to see those items that are being billed. You're going to see that amount that is the total amount that is work in progress, and then that column that has that retainage. So then that provides you that owner billing, the accounts receivable, and we're going to move over to QuickBooks Online. That was about to take me out. And we are going to go to our customers. And inside customers, as we know, we had the 1200 Atlas. And if you can scroll down and find that, or it's easiest to just type it in right here, and you will find your customer. Inside here, we can find that invoice. You can see that time is pushing over. You can see that the estimate budget's moved over for different projects. So we're going to go ahead and open up this invoice. And you're going to be able to see all the line items, the site work, the masonry, and you're going to see how much the items are, the line items, and then the retainage of 27,000 taken out for that moved to the balance sheet, so that it's only showing the receivable for the 519. Now, if we were to go back and this get paid, once you apply the payment, it does not apply the payment within the RedTeam Go. So you have the option of moving over here, and on this paid, you can click on the no, and it will provide you a place to put the date it was paid, the amount, and the check number, so that you can track it in both areas. Now we're going to move to an expense. So we're going to go to accounting, and we're going to move over to expenses. I'm going to show you what a subcontract looks like. So I am going to go ahead and click on search for a fielder on a roof that I know that we have multiple bills for. And as you can see, this one has not been accepted. And when you click on the three dots, you will see it still has that option of being accepted. You can delete it, you can edit it. And the one that we're going to look at inside QuickBooks Online is one that we have accepted. So you can see that on 3/2, I accepted this amount for $11,111. If you click on the three dots, it no longer provides you that option to accept, edit, or delete. And you can unaccept it, but at that point, you would have to delete that QuickBooks item inside QuickBooks Online, delete this invoice. You can then edit it and then re-accept it. But now we're going to go over to QuickBooks Online. I've already filtered over to Fiddler on the Roof, but you just go to expenses. You look up your vendor, or you can go to expenses. But I just went to vendors. I typed in my fielder on a roof, and I have my invoice right here. When I click on it, you then can see that it has the cost code type, the description, and then the amount. And you can see that it's been linked and that it is part of the webinar here. So now, once this is paid, you will be able to then relieve your accounts payable here in the QuickBooks Online. The additional item that I wanted to show you is that it did move over as a purchase order when I created this invoice. And here is the purchase order. You have the option of copying it to a bill, which I did. So at that point, it moved over to the bill. That is where you are double checking, making sure everything is correct, and it is ready to be paid. So moving back over to RedTeam Go, that pretty much handles the everyday aspect. Now, if you are looking at, you see something that's not filtering over, pushing over in QuickBooks Online, you can go back. Again, you will only see this one QuickBooks Online. Your most recent transactions will be here, but you do have this filter settings. And inside the filter, you can choose what you want to review. If you just want to see your failed transactions, you may do so. You can see what is been successful or what's pending. You can also choose, say, I just want to see all my owner bills that went over. I need to look at a couple of my owner bills, and you can apply those filters. Once you do that, and let's just do failed, because I know that we have some failed in there for data purposes. You can see here are my ones that did not filter over. And these are ones that I said, here's the vendor. It's probably inactivated in QuickBooks Online. There's also negative sum POs. We cannot upload negative sum POs. So those are options. We do have this chat here with our service team that also inside this chat provides you learning experiences so that you can, once you choose what topics you need, you can choose help here and say, hey, I want to go in, I need to find out something about the plan room or something about the accounting pieces. Once you click on the arrow, it provides you a lot of tools and learning experience webinars, and you can type in to search it down further. If you are not able to get the answers you want, you can open a ticket with our service team, which is always here from 8 to 8 to help you. And that basically concludes our webinar. So are there any questions, George?
Nope, we don't have any questions right now.
All right. Well, we hope you have a great day. We hope that this was informative for you. And please let us know if you're interested in the integration. Thank you.